Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Hello everybody and welcome to our latest Z2A podcast with myself, Mark, and Jules from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello everybody and a very warm welcome.
And this is where we pick a letter and a topic and discuss how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and life. It's the big reveal time. What's the letter this time?
The letter we've chosen is L, and this is for lose the stress. Now, wouldn't it be lovely if you could just wave that magic wand and all your stresses have gone? But there's lots of different ways to be able to lose your stress and keep grounded and focused. And that's something that we all need to do at times because it's very, very easy to be distracted, to procrastinate and let the concerns, the worries, the anxiety take over your life.
Yeah, and do you sometimes feel that the world is portraying that we need to be stressed as well? So people get stressed because everybody tells us we need to be stressed, we need to be in a hurry, we need to do this now, we need to look a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way, be really busy and run around like mad, and all of a sudden it's
Very true. Now, if you are wanting to lose your stress or lose the things that are causing you to be stressed, do you know the first thing to do is to actually know what is making you stressed?
Absolutely true. It's a good starting point, isn't it?
It's a very good starting point. And it can be all sorts of different things from, if you're at school, for example, it could be homework overload or just schoolwork overload. I know I'm feeling a bit stressed with our Spanish course at the moment.
Yes.
So I get that.
And if you're at work, it can be just work overload. And a lot of people, more and more people these days, are taking work home with them, aren't they? They're not just leaving the office anymore or the place of work and going home. The expectation seems a lot higher with people in their jobs now.
Yeah, do you know, from speaking to a lot of people, I think things like having a proper lunch break doesn't seem to happen anymore. And I could be incredibly wrong, and I could be doing some companies a huge disservice by saying that, but a lot of people that I talk to say they just manage to grab a quick bite to eat and they go straight back to work. Whereas I can remember going back 20 years, 15 years, you would actually say, right, okay, this is my lunch break from 12:15 till 1 o'clock, for example, and you would actually have a break.
Yeah, you'd have a lunch hour back in the day.
Sometimes, yeah.
But again, it was very noticeable going round to schools all over the UK. Did we ever see a teacher having a break? It was impossible sometimes because the teacher looking after us on the day will always say, I've got to go off now.
Yeah.
So you guys can go back to the staff room, or I'll take you to the canteen, or I'll grab you a sandwich and you need to sit here, or something like that. And I can't spend any time with you because I've got to go off and got to do duty, or I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And that isn't just happening in education, that's happening everywhere. Mm-hmm. And the expectation, as I say, is a lot higher. So work, homework, schoolwork, all of those things come into the same category and just cause an incredible amount of stress.
Money's another big one. Pressure from possibly, obviously not having enough money, but it might be, it's something like job insecurity or even not having a job at the time. So that's going to cause you huge amount of money worry. And it might also be that you can't pay all your bills.
Yeah. And then go back to the expectation. There's the expectation for us to keep buying things and keep spending money.
Yeah.
Funny enough, when we was just opening a website to look at some information about this podcast, you were saying this is really stressing me out because I've got a pop-up advert here, I've got to tick the cookies, I've got to tick this and everything. Years ago, you used to just look at something, but now you have to go through so many different processes just to get to the thing you want to get to in a world where things are actually supposed to be easier and more accessible. So you go onto Instagram or Facebook or any social media platform, the first thing that pops up is you need to buy this off me, you need to spend this money on this. And gone are the days where we used to just see an advert on the TV or walk past a billboard. It is literally in our faces all the time. So that again adds to money worry, because people then want to spend their money on impulse and think, well, how am I going to pay for this? You don't really think about that at the time now. You just click a button, tap a card.
Oh, it's so quick now, isn't
Pay
it?
on your phone, yeah. Even your Apple Watches or smartwatches or whatever you've got.
And do you know the thing that really annoys me now? So you're talking about things that stress you. I remember when the internet first started and Google and all the rest of it, you would literally put your question in your search and you would get the answer straight away.
Yeah.
The actual answer. You don't now. You have to really, really, really search for what it is that you need, whereas before it seemed a lot simpler.
Yeah. Whatever gets the most ratings or the most hits or the most money is the one that's going to give you the
Yeah,
answer, isn't it?
Yeah. And then what happens is you look at something and you think, oh, that looks quite nice. I do it all the time. And I think, oh, I might just have a little look at that advert because I like the look of that. And obviously we've got the big festive season coming up shortly. So you are sort of thinking of ideas of gifts and you see something. And because you've perhaps watched that advert, then you're bombarded with it. It's like popping up all the time.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
It is mad. And that stresses you because you feel pressured that that's what you should be doing. But it's not just about work and money. I mean, relationships and family, that can cause stress.
Absolutely, because you spend a lot of time with family, friends, your immediate family, and going back into the work side, work colleagues and people that you maybe deal with in business all the time. Sometimes we have to accept that not everybody is the same or has the same point of view as us. But it is really, really easy to get involved in other people's dramas. And you actually used a phrase the other day that really made me chuckle. You said friend drama.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
You have friend drama because your friends might be having some drama and then you get dragged into it. And that can cause you stress because you feel a part possibly of their drama, or they unwittingly are putting that drama onto you. So yeah, I liked that saying, friend drama.
It's really cool. And actually a couple of weeks ago I met up with a friend who I hadn't seen for quite a while, and they went, oh, what's the latest gossip on a particular subject? And I went, well, there isn't any. And they were really, really disappointed that there was no gossip, no dirt, nothing to dish around. And I thought, do you know, it's actually really nice because we haven't got to sit there and complain about somebody or something for half an hour, 3/4 an hour, a couple of days, or however long we were going to go on for, because there wasn't any drama.
I think the truth is there probably was, but something that we decided that we would do many, many years ago, and we still try and do it as best as we can, is we stay out or stay away from anything like that because we don't want to be affected by it. We don't want to get involved in it. We don't want to become a part of things. So we are very good at managing things like staying away from any conflicts or anything like that. So there probably is a bit of drama going on or whatever, but we've managed to stay away from it. But that's something that we consciously made sure that we do because it's not good for us.
Definitely. So that brings us quite nicely onto how do you lose the stress? Well, we've just sort of given a tip there, really, haven't we? Of losing the stress is sometimes walking away from it and not getting involved. And there's so many times where in the past, in our lives, something's happening and you want to be involved in it, or you feel you need to get involved in it, or you get attracted to it. You get attracted to bad news and dramas. So then you get involved in it. And all of a sudden, because you're involved in it, that starts stressing you out. And it can sometimes be a control thing where, for example, somebody's arranging the Christmas party, but you want to arrange it. You want to do it this way. You want to put your input in there. And sometimes it's easier to go, do you know what? You do it. I'll step back and let you arrange whatever the event is.
Well, there are some what we would call immediate stress relief techniques. So if you are feeling quite stressed in the moment, a really good thing to do is deep breathing. But it's amazing how well this works, because sometimes something will happen and you can feel your stress levels rise and they feel almost like it's getting higher and higher and harder and harder, and you're not sure that you can control it and you feel agitated or anxious with it. And deep breathing is really almost immediate relief. So taking long, slow, deep breaths and literally feeling your belly rise and fall. And when I say rise and fall, it's almost like as if you were laying down, but you can do this standing up. So you can really take that deep breath and feel your belly getting bigger because you're taking that breath in. what that will do will slow your heart rate, because when you're starting to feel stress, your heart rate will increase. And if you can do this for a few minutes, you can even count it if you want to, in for 4, out for 4. It's up to you. Find whichever works for you, but absolutely deep breathing to start with is the first thing to stop that getting out of control.
Yeah, that's an absolutely really, really good tip. And you can almost sort of couple that with a mindfulness break as well. Now, I found the other day, I was working on a task to sort out some data on the database, and it was stressing me out, and I was getting agitated, just as you mentioned there. And I started breathing, but I couldn't breathe because I was sitting down there and I was still sitting in front of the computer. So what I did was I got up straight away and I walked outside and I just started looking around, and I was focusing on what was around us. So it was a nice day. The sun was out. I was looking at the trees and I was watching somebody walk past down the street and thought, actually, this is really nice, because all of a sudden I was distracted away from that database and I could feel that I could start breathing better. And what was stressing me out, because I'd moved myself away from it and focused on something else that was actually in that moment, then that stress started to relieve. When I came back to, I need to go back to this task, I thought, now, do I go back and do that now, or shall I leave it for the day? Or shall I go back to it tomorrow? Shall I give it another 10 minutes? And I was able to make an informed decision on that. Now, I did go back to that task quite quickly, and I found it was still stressing me out. So I did exactly the same thing again. I walked away from it, took a break, and then decided this ain't going to happen today.
Yeah.
So I left it there. So mindfulness, really, really key.
Yeah, focusing on what I would call like a soothing sensory experience. And often it is watching something just like the wind making the trees move, just watching that and just focusing on that and just really silencing your mind is a great way of trying to get rid of that stress that's taken over. And likewise, take something like a brisk walk and just notice everything that's going there. Just break that state of mind in whatever form that suits you and what you can physically or mentally do at that moment.
Yeah, just pop outside, take a walk around the block. Sometimes doing a little dance or something along those lines. Pop a bit of music on, listen to your favourite song. Just break that state of stress and move on to something that's going to make you laugh, make you smile, make you feel good. Watch a funny clip on YouTube or something like that. But then obviously if you're watching something on YouTube, don't get distracted for hours and then realise that you've got nothing done, and then you're even more stressed out after 2 hours of watching stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, that can easily be done. But I mean, that's just talking about sort of immediate stress. But if you live in quite a stressful environment permanently, you can think of ways, sort of longer term things, to help you manage your stress. And it is, again, recognising what it is that's causing it, and also recognising what things work for you, because we can talk to you about all sorts of different techniques, great ones that we've spoken about in other podcasts, things like having regular exercise, proper sleep, a healthy diet. Those sorts of things are key for your mental and physical health, and they are long-term strategies to help you with your stress management and helping you to stay grounded and focused.
Yeah, we've talked about the secrets to self-care lots of times, but at the end of the day, if you're doing something that you really enjoy doing, it could be a sport, it could be a hobby or a pastime, then that is going to give you those endorphins, which is going to make you feel better. Couple that with your healthy diet, your exercise, and drinking plenty of water, of course, that we plug loads of times, don't we, on these podcasts. But that self-care strategy is really, really key in you losing this stress, pushing it away from you, and actually being able to focus on how am I going to walk away from this stressful moment and make myself feel calmer.
Yeah. And another one is staying connected, which is kind of almost like a little bit of a buzzword or whatever you want to say, but having those social connections is so good for yourself. So talk to your friends, your family, anybody that's around you, and having that strong support network can help provide things like distraction support and help you with new perspectives on what possibly is causing you that stress. So yeah, make sure that you do stay connected to the people around you, and talking's a big thing.
Yeah, getting connected with the right people as well, because if you go to the friend drama person, they're obviously not going to help you out too much because they might want to get involved in the drama. But sometimes it's going to that person who maybe knows more about you on that particular topic, maybe the person who's always calmer than you, or maybe that person who can just offer you a little bit of reason and logic when you can't see the reason and logic. And I always think that there's a stigma attached to people saying, oh, I can't cope with this, so I better not go and tell anybody because they'll think I'm whatever. But actually, it's better sometimes to say, do you know what, I'm really struggling with this. I can't see how to get out of this. And that person will probably just offer you some words of wisdom. They're probably not going to give you the solution, but they just might help you along the way and make you feel a little bit better. Or even not even talk about the problem or the drama or whatever it is and totally distract you away from it. And then when you go back, you feel clearer. It's like taking a mindfulness break.
Some people say that you should practice acceptance. And whilst there's a part of me personally that thinks, yeah, I get that, accepting the situation. But I also sometimes feel that word acceptance is almost like saying, well, that's happening. There's nothing else I can do about it. So I've got to accept it and I can't change it. And it is like looking at whatever your situation is. And I would prefer to say to myself, okay, so I'm acknowledging this is happening. I acknowledge it and I'll take on board. And then I would look at things to help myself rather than just accepting it. And we do know, and we talk about things that you have in your control and things that are beyond your control. And yes, you have to acknowledge that there are things that are way out of your control and you can do nothing about it. So acknowledge it and say, okay, I can't do it, but look at the things that you have complete control over and massively focus on them. Acknowledge the ones that you don't, but just work on the things that you physically and mentally have 100% control over.
Yeah, it's where you spend your mental energy, isn't it? And if you think I'm going to waste all my mental energy trying to battle something that I can't control, then you're on a loser, really. But if you're thinking, can I influence that? Can I control it? Spot on, absolutely.
And you know, another thing, and I used to try and avoid this umpteen years ago. I never used to like a routine. I used to think, that routines are boring. You don't want to do the same thing every day, every week, every month, whatever. But actually, maintaining some sort of schedule or routine mentally is really good for you. And I'm not saying you have to do exactly the same thing every day at the same time, and you do this on a Monday and you do that on a Tuesday. But a good sort of schedule in terms of when you get up, making sure you have a good breakfast, having your lunch, hydrating yourself, going to bed at a reasonably the same sort of time. That kind of schedule can provide real structure, and your brain loves that, and that will calm you.
Yeah, having structure is really, really important. And again, you're saying about the getting up, the daily routines, and maybe that could include the tasks around the house, maybe it could include the tasks around your job, or if you run your own business, or if you're doing your homework or whatever it is. If you have that structure, it helps you to focus more. So, for example, if you're in school and you think, I've got an hour's worth of homework to do, I'm going to do it when I walk in the door, sit down, have a quick snack, do my homework, get that out of the way, get that done, you know you're doing it then. But if you don't have that structure and you just try and cram it in whenever you feel like it, you're probably not going to be so focused on it. So it definitely does work. We're big fans of a little bit of routine.
Definitely, absolutely. And do you know what? If all else fails, do you know what I do?
Have a cup of tea.
No, I'll put some music on, because I find that can distract me, that can calm me down. If you're listening to something that you really, really enjoy, think, oh, I love that music, or I love that song. And then I'm like air drumming or air guitaring or whatever. And it does distract me. That's just me.
That's true. And if all else fails, have the cup of tea.
Absolutely. Always have the cup of tea.
Yeah. Ways to lose stress. Well, don't be scared of losing stress. Look at ways that you can remove these little stressful things from your life. And even if it's just the small things to start with, just try these little techniques out. We have loads and loads of tools and tips that you can find on our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. Also, if you go to social media, we're on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. And you can find lots of short tips on there, plus on our YouTube channel as well. You can reach out directly to us on LinkedIn, because we are
everywhere.
We are indeed. And we look forward to joining you in the next episode, and hopefully feeling a lot calmer and a lot less stressed.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.